You see, that's the thing. You can talk about OBs and you can talk about breakers and you can talk about imbalance and you can talk about all of this. But if you don't understand structure, none of that is going to help you. None of that is going to help you. All right, let's get into it. I'm going to switch the comments off and let's turn that camera around so everybody can see the screen. Yeah, all right. So you can all see my screen. Right. Let's just get that a bit there. All right, so structure, let's get into it. I don't know what I'm doing here. Okay. So when we talk about structure, guys, when we talk about structure, we talk about there's something called internal structure, right? And main structure. So let's quickly get into this, right? So let's say I had to go to a daily time frame, right? My structure, right, is basically this. So let's say now price has made this low, right? So price made this low and then price made this high, right? Then price made this low and then made this high, right? So only if price takes out either this high or this low, right, do I have a new high or a new low. So this would be a new low. Reason is because price created a high higher than the previous high. And that is the only way price can create a new low. All right, so now this is my high and that is my low. And we call this main structure. And everything in between here is minor structure. All right, so let's go over that again. Right. This time we're going to go to a 1 hour time frame. So here, see, now this is where people get confused. So you see, price makes, I'll give you an example, that high. Then price makes this low, right? Then price comes back and it makes this high, right? And then what happened? Price makes this low. Now, where you get confused is believing that this is still a low, right? And this is still a high. And unfortunately, this is where people get confused. You see, if price does not create a new high or a new low, right? And we're talking about this time frame. So when price creates this high and this low, this is now our main structure. Until price creates a new high or a new low. So price then created a low, right? And a high, meaning that then, sorry, let me just move this over. This now was our main structure, while everything else was minor structure. So here is all minor structure until price either takes out this high or price takes out this low. So remember, everything between the high and the low is liquidity. So I'll make an example. People were trying to go long, 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 and then all of a sudden we had a breakout trader sitting at this level trying to go short. So he goes short and then price takes him out, right? And those who were going long, right, get taken out. So price takes out the first batch of liquidity, and then price takes out the second batch of liquidity, right? Why? Because this is now liquidity because price created a high that was higher than these highs, and price created a low that was lower than these lows. Let me put the comments on and let's see if everybody understands what I'm talking about here. All right, on the same page. A bit lost. I thought you would be. Just fine. So, all right, let's go again. Right. So, if we had to look, right? If we had to look at main structure. So main structure would be price taking out that high or this low. What does price do? Price takes out the high, creating a new high. Put the comments back off. Sorry, guys. All right. Then price comes down, creates this low. But price goes back up, creates this high, and then creates this low. But can you see that every time, what is price actually doing is just generating liquidity? And this is what happens. So you getting involved over here, and then price goes up, and it takes you out. Right? So now, we're waiting for price to come down and take you out. Come down, take you out. Come down, take you out. Right? Because what has price been doing? Price has been taking out the previous highs. Right? So now let's quickly go to what is a change of character. Okay, so as much as we can say that this is a change of character, right? Your actual change of character, right, would be sitting at this high. So only once price breaks this high would we then have a change of character to the upside. Why? Because this is considered major structure as price broke higher than this high. And this would be considered major structure, right? And only if price took out this low, which it didn't. Or it did, I can't see. But if it didn't, right? If it didn't, which I think it didn't, right? Then you must understand this, that this is then our low, and everything in between here is minor structure until price either puts in a new high or a new low, right? And the minute price puts in a new high or a new low, right, we start generating something called liquidity. So price goes up and price then puts in a new high, right? However though, price hasn't taken out these lows. So these are now equal lows. Liquidity sits at this level. All right, because guess what? Everybody over here has been buying high. So now price puts in a new high, right? So guess what? Only now can we now say that we have a new low. You with me? And then price goes up. This is not a new high. All right, guys, this is not a new high. Unless we take out that high, then this is not a new high. We will then consider all of this to be liquidity, price takes it. Liquidity, price takes it. All right. Are you with me? So when price takes out this high, right? Because look, we're not looking at price taking out this high. We're looking at price taking out that high. So once price takes out that high, we now have a break of structure. The break of structure was not here. The break of structure was here. Okay, so now price takes out this high, right? So we're looking for price to put in a new low. Because currently we have this low. So we have this high and this low, right? Because we didn't get a low lower than this. And prior to price putting in this high, price hasn't put in a low. So this is all internal structure. As of this being the low and that being the high. This here is just generated liquidity for price to soon come in, and we will then take it out. All right, let's see if we're on the same track here. Are we all on the same page? Correct. Major structure is swing structure. Swinging being price moving from one direction and completely changing direction into a new direction. So as we see price moves up, creates this high, comes down, fails to create a new high, meaning that would be a low until price puts in a high that will then create a new low. So right now we're looking for price to create a new low. Simple as that. Price can create a low here, 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 here. price can create a new low. That's all we're looking for. So price has put in a new high. Now we're waiting for price to put in a new low because this is the previous low. Not that. And this is not a high. Okay. This is not a low. This is the low. That is not a high, and nor is this a high. This is all internal structure. All of this is internal structure. Mikey, this is not a low because when price put in this high, right? When this is, you see, this is where people get confused. When price put in this high, right? When price put in this high, right? This low was created and this high was created, but unfortunately this high didn't take out this high. So we're going to go right back to the very first low. So the very first low stands. That was not a break, nor was this a break. So that's not a structure low, and this is not a structure high. That is a structure high, so we're looking for price to put in a structure low. Makes sense? Remember that if we're going to look at structure, right? We're going to look at structure. This, remember, price needs to make a new high in order to create a low, or price needs to create a new low in order to create a high. So if price takes out the previous low, listen carefully guys, if price takes out the previous low, any high price makes will be the new high. It doesn't need to take out the previous high. Okay, so I'll go to a white chart quickly, right? So let's say price, we have price going up, and then price comes down, right? And then price goes up. Even if price comes down like this, right? And then goes up like that. Because price put in a new low, this would be a new high. And that would be a new low. Price doesn't need to take out this high in order for price to create a new high. No. This would be your structure, and everything in between this would then be minor structure, and this high and just this low would be your main structure. So this would be a swing, and everything between here would be minor until, so what price would do is take out this high, right? So price doesn't need to take out that high. Price has already taken out a major swing point high. This is where you guys get confused, and this is why I'm trying to show you this, right? So you out there thinking that price needs to take out this high, and price doesn't need to take out this high. It doesn't. Price just needs to take out this high in order to create a new high. Chart, whatever you want to, yes. But what I'm saying is, I'm trying to teach structure here. Guys, we're not talking about change of characters and breaker structures. No, I'm trying to teach, you need to understand structure before even thinking of chart or breaker structure. Now, you would be thinking that price needs to take out this high, and it doesn't. This is where I see you guys getting confused now. You think price needs to take out this high, and it doesn't. Because the high that they're focusing on is this high here. Why? Because price created a low. So the minute price created this low, the very next high price creates would be a high that we would want to see being liquidated, or another low, and then we would have a break of structure because price would have created a new low. Any time frame or time frames. Is it making sense now? Yes, guys, I'll go over it again. Right. Look here. See, if price comes up, creates a high, comes down, creates a low, right? Guess what? What this means is I would now need price to either take out this low or this high. If price does not take out the high or the low, everything is internal structure. So if price does this and that and this and that and then this, and you think that, oh my gosh, this is a break of structure, price is going higher, you are wrong. You are totally wrong. Price needs to take out this high or this low. Okay. Because what will happen is price will come up, your way to get in for a buy, and price will just continue going lower. And only when price does something of that nature, now we have a new low. So now we consider this being the high and that being the low. Because this is no longer valid as this has been liquidated. They've taken everything they needed to take from this level. We're not interested in that level. We are now interested in this low. And if price goes up and creates a high, we're now interested in that high. I don't care about this high and I don't care about this low. Why? Because price took out this low. So I don't expect price to take out this high. Are we on the same page? So the only time there was a break of structure was here. This is not a break of structure. These are equal highs. It is not a break of structure. A break of structure will be if price comes down and takes out this high. When price does something of this nature, where price comes in and takes out the previous low or the new high created. So remember, this would be the new high created. So price would need to take that high out in order for that to be a break of structure, a valid break of structure. This high does not need to be violated in order for it to be a break of structure. That high needs to be violated in order to be a break of structure. Are we on the same page? A lot of people will be confused because they've been teaching you bullshit. People who tell you that, oh my gosh, price mistake are that high. No.